Hi Scorpio, welcome to Sugar Free. This is your Q4 2023 love and general reading. I'm working with two decks here. I've got the major arcana here of the ancient Italian tarot. Very beautiful deck, been working with this for a long time. And here I've got the Rider-Waite split into its suits. So I'm going to pull three from the major arcana to look at the main energy, and then drill down by clarifying with each one from each of the suits of the minor arcana. So everything's shuffled. I'll just give this major arcana one last go for you. One last go. So what's coming in for October, November and December of 2023 for Scorpio? Death in the reverse. The High Priestess in the reverse, and the Chariot in the reverse. Okay. Straight away I'm coming here to this middle row. Column number 2, what will be a column when we've clarified, is the hidden energy in this setup. And you know, what you would be perhaps wise to pay attention to, if you can. It's the underbelly, yeah, what's going on under, like around the back of the curtain, so to speak. This first column is things as they appear, like a sort of snapshot of the present energy. Column number 3 is the potential, like overarching energy of this and what it can be. This is more like the potential, and you know, the bigger picture energy. And I'm getting from this Chariot in the reverse here that this is not a time for kind of charging ahead. Something possibly quite serious has happened here. Or is in the current energy. Death in the reverse, as I understand it, Scorpio, the death card is said to be, quotes unquote, your card. Am I right about that? And with it in the reverse, I'm going to see more. There are so many possibilities for when a card is in the reverse, and it's so, the whole nature of the death card is about unequivocal change and non-negotiable change. So when it's in the reverse, perhaps it is equivocal. But no, there's more to it than that. I'm going to go straight ahead and start clarifying, Scorpio, because this is quite mysterious energy. This is the only one that's clear to me at the moment. Right, 7 of Pentacles. Perhaps something hasn't fruited yet. Yeah, maybe this is sort of delay. But it's delay because some sort of understanding of the situation, the High Priestess here, is in reverse, is not present, or is perhaps hidden. But this situation, I think, is still growing. It's still growing. And I mean, charge ahead energy is really not here in the 7 of Pentacles. You know, this is slow, kind of, this is the capacity to wait, Scorpio. Okay, this is the capacity to wait, and it looks like there's good reason. There's good reason. Let's keep going. This doesn't happen quickly, and it happens only when it's time for it to happen. When those pentacles, those pentacly pumpkins there are ready to just like off the branch, off the stem. That's when it's ripe. And my gosh, I'm brought to mind of a yogic prayer, a Sanskrit prayer, which speaks of, which basically asks that when it's time for one's soul and one's body to be separated, that separation happen as easily and naturally as a ripe fruit being picked from a branch. The prayer is called the Triambakam prayer, and that is one of the elements of it. So this is definitely something about separation and change, but it's still growing. It's still growing, and we're going to find out more about why in a little while. Okay, Knight of Wands. I'm getting a really kind of showy energy of this. Eight of Swords. Oh, man. Oh, and the Eight of Cups. Wow. Okay, well, it seems like the introductory kind of snapshot energy of this Q4 for you, Scorpio, is perhaps the difficulty being able to just like keep your finger off the button, off the, it's like the red button there, keeping your finger off it. And sometimes one just can't flipping help it. But it looks to me like you are keeping your finger off it. You're not like hacking at those pentacles before they're ready. And the myth of the goose that laid the golden eggs comes to my mind through this as well. You know, about the goose that laid the golden eggs, and you know, the greedy person who owned the goose wanted all the gold in one go, so they cut the goose open to get the eggs out, and of course there was nothing in there. Impatience. There's an impatience here, and I would say perhaps a sort of a wish to just like walk away from everything, but the sense that you can't. And the Knight of Wands here just sort of, I don't know, sort of pretending maybe that that's not how you're feeling, and putting on a show to the world. And you know, there's nothing necessarily wrong with that, but you know, sometimes it's appropriate to not sort of blab the farm about what's going on for you. But it is also an energy drainer doing that. And if it's possible to be more real without it sort of causing any problems for you, then it's probably better. But it's very quiet. It's very quiet, this column, apart from this dude. And I wonder whether there's a certain amount of sort of distraction for you going on in order to like avert your gaze from this anxiety and this sense that maybe it would be right for you to walk away from something. But waiting. Yeah, I've got to be straight with you, Scorpio. It's not particularly comfortable energy here, but it is simply things as you see them now. Let's keep going. I'm going to come over here now. Five of Pentacles, Ace of Wands, Ten of Swords, and the Nine of Cups. Wow, okay. What a combo of positive and negative energy. All the more reason to not go charging ahead with something, Scorpio. All the more reason. There's a shift even within this column. I mean, there's a lot more energy in this. Well, there is more energy in this column than in this one. I mean, the key thing, of course, is going to be this one. This is like the fulcrum. This is like the portal column here in the middle. But there's a real sense of sort of going it alone here in this final column. And but not in a kind of gung-ho sort of way. And that's gung-ho, when I say that, I'm my eye is drawn straight back to this Knight of Wands here. It's a very gung-ho energy. It's, you know, sometimes gung-ho energy is sort of required, but it's not on the table here. But what is on the table is a way forward in the Ace of Wands here that you perhaps felt before was like not possible for you to engage in for some reason. And you've had enough. You've had enough. There's a point reached here in the Ten of Swords where you thought it all through and you've talked it all through, even just in your own mind, let alone with other people. And it's something's a dead duck. Okay, something is a dead duck, and it's something to do with this combination of this out in the cold, like forever an outsider to the end of my days, as Thomas Hardy wrote in Jude the Obscure. And there's a sort of willingness in the Five of Pentacles to actually feel like this, because there is no good or legal reason why they shouldn't go into the church. And it looks warm in there. You can see with the window lit up. You can see it's a dark scene outside, so there's lights on and warmth inside there. And there's no good reason for them not to go in there and, you know, get some alms and get a bowl of soup or something. But they don't, and they don't because it wouldn't feel natural to them. And yet it's immediately followed here by the Ace of Wands. Don't let this this sense of not belonging here in the Five of Pentacles and of certain sort of avenues of action in the world that bring rewards, actions that bring rewards, that certain avenues that are shut off to you. Don't let that blind you to the opportunities on offer. I mean, okay, it's one single wand and we've only got one wand here. It'll be very interesting to see what comes up with that in the middle section, as will be the whole of the middle section. But, you know, the Ace of Wands isn't just a single opportunity. It's the whole sense of opportunity itself. But there's something here in the Five of Pentacles that needs to be got over in order to be able to grasp this nettle effectively and to good end. And what I'm getting off the Ten of Swords here in this particular reading today is that there is a way of thinking and a way of sort of cognitively reacting to the world and to your life that, as the phrase goes, no longer serves you. Okay, there's something that has come to an end, and for it is kind of time for it to die a death. And that then frees us up into the Nine of Cups, where you have emotional self-containment, self-fulfillment on the emotional front, and a kind of a not needing anything from anybody, and the capacity to give, ready to welcome people in. Very, very different from this poverty consciousness, as they call it, this kind of impoverished energy here in the Five of Pentacles. Very different. Here we have the capacity to give, and we don't need to hold anything back because we've just got shitloads to give, and we're very, very comfortable with that. And, you know, I mean, it sounds really good when I say it, but to get to that point where you are able to give to others emotionally without fearing that it's somehow going to leave you in a state of deficit, which is what we see here in the Five of Pentacles, to get to that point where you can be kind in all confidence that it's not going to kind of come back to bite you later. So you better be careful and not be too nice. You know, to get to that point of confidence, you know, takes some doing, and it takes some time, and that process isn't there yet. It's not there yet. And we have a clear kind of indication here with the Chariot in the reverse that it's not time. Again, it's not ready. It's not ripe. But with a kind of sensible approach to the timing of something, and we're going to find out why. What's the foot on the brake? What's the foot on the brake? Let's find out. Okay. Page of Pentacles. There's a feeling that that the pentacle isn't big enough, and that the page is sort of, the page energy here is sort of inappropriately like immature. There's an immaturity about it. There's something about this situation that you don't understand yet. What you don't see, Scorpio, is that your position is a lot stronger than you think it is. And, you know, there's a sort of winning energy about this, but you can't see it because the High Priestess is in reverse here and it's in the hidden energy column. But there's a kind of youth and freshness about this. I mean, I said this was like inappropriately young, sort of immature, not yet ripe. But here in the... okay. Right, what I'm getting from this Six of Wands here is in conjunction with the Knight of Wands over here. Because the Knight of Wands is very showy, right? But this is we don't know what might have been achieved here. And that's why I said this is perhaps more about show than about actual achievement. But underneath that showiness and that flamboyance and that rather kind of self-aggrandizing, maybe even, or sort of a bit like, you know, pleased with oneself, or at least putting on the show of that. Underneath that is this rather humbly dressed character who really, really has won something. But he's not sort of prancing around in a celebratory way. You know, this is a very kind of humble energy here. This is a true leader, and this is a true victor. And that sort of downgrade of the kind of performative energy of the Knight of Wands here, the downgrading of that, the withdrawal of energy from how things look to here how things actually are. This unleashes the energy here into the Ace of Wands and precipitates this this closure, this ending with the Ten of Swords. But not right now. Not right now. Which then unlocks the beautiful generosity of the Nine of Cups here, and the self-confidence, the confidence to be able to give without worrying about possible sort of backwash. Okay. Four of Swords, I mean, not a million miles away from the High Priestess in the upright or in the reverse, and the Ace of Cups. Okay, this middle column, I mean, in a way, this was the card I was most worried about, the High Priestess in the reverse there, because the High Priestess is instinct, intuition, and that kind of knowing, that like self-awareness. I mean, the Fool, in a sense, the Zero card, there isn't a sort of a highly developed sort of, or even a particularly developed sense of self there. You know, it's very kind of protean energy. It's very kind of base, fundamental, you know, I exist. By the time we get into the High Priestess card number 2, we're beginning to question, or not question, but we're beginning to consider what that means. Okay, that's what the High Priestess is about, what it means to be the one we are, the individual that we are. And it's a very kind of humble energy I'm getting off this. And a kind of a period of scaling down of drama, if I may. I'm really sorry, Scorpio, but that's what I'm getting from this. A scaling down of that draining drama, that sees us mistime things and not achieve our goals, short and long term, and not get to that place of full expression here with the Ace of Cups. And the as I keep saying, the confidence to be able to give to others, when there's so much being spent, so much kind of karmic energy being spent on unnecessary worry, back and forth considerations about walking away from stuff or walking back to stuff. And the reason I put such equivocation around the Eight of Cups here is that it's in an eclipse, so stuff's coming and going and kind of covering, two things covering each other, and then separate, and then coming and covering again, and then separate. And it's this and perhaps finding it difficult to let things develop in a timely way. And I mean, this, perhaps one of the keys to a happy life is developing a kind of attitude of the expectation of timeliness around death, and not, I mean, you know, that's a really enlightened view, I guess. You know, whenever death comes, it's the right time for it to come. And that can be very, very difficult to accept in a lot of situations. But there's this kind of push and pull here about being stuck, walking away, charging in, waiting. This is something to do with how change is approached, Scorpio. There in column number 1. And column number 2 is yeah, it's much more sort of humble and contemplative. I mean, the Four of Swords here links for me with 2 other cards here on the table. One of them is not so much of a leap to the Seven of Pentacles. You know, that both of these, Four of Swords and Seven of Pentacles, are about inaction. Okay, so that's a link I see there. I also see a link with the Five of Pentacles. We got that stained glass again. And there's something here about an examination, but a really sort of quiet examination, and a contemplation of what this Five of Pentacles, I don't deserve it stuff is about. Because this stained glass is now above this figure, sort of like shining a light and illuminating this this sort of trance state here. And you know, that's why it matters, Scorpio. That's why it matters. It's all about love. All of this is about love, and eventually about having the inner stability as an individual to be able to do what I think we probably deep down all long to do in every interaction, is to you know, be able to show people love, to show other people love without it making us feel unsafe to do so. That's what I'm seeing on the table, is a movement through here from the beginning of Q4 in a kind of, I would say perhaps habitual state of anxiety and push me, pull you, want it, don't want it kind of approach to things. Because like I said, we've got the Eight of Swords here, which is about feeling trapped. And then we've got the Eight of Cups here, which is about sort of turning your back and like walking away into the desert. You know, bloody Reggie Perrin or whatever, it's an English TV series. You know, going down the beach and just, you know, anyway, I won't go into that. But, you know, it's like a walking away from a painful situation. And here we're kind of keeping ourselves trapped in it. And we've got this wait, go forward, wait, go forward. Wait, okay, wait, it's worth it. And kind of, as I say, withdrawing a certain amount of energy from all this to really see what it means here in column 2 to sort of, to succeed. You know, is this success in the Knight of Wands where everyone can see it? Or is this success where everyone is just there with you because you really did it? And, you know, these other people, this sort of ragged army accompanying this leader, this champion, this winner here, they're not even really particularly, it's more like he's with them rather than that they're with him. Because they're not looking at him. He wants to be with them because they're his people. There's huge sympathy here and connection. The connection's so deep between the soldiers and the captain that they don't even need to look at each other. They work as one. Self and others, self and non-self work as one. Whereas here we've just got this solitary, like, look at me, dude. You know, where does the need for this come from, Scorpio? To sort of show, to make sure people know and can see. And it comes from this sense of being an outsider and of being undeserving. There's this sort of like, oh me, oh me, oh me, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. It doesn't work. But it's a natural, I can see why it would be a natural response to this. So this is the key to it, the Five of Pentacles and the Four of Swords are, I think, the most important cards in this spread. Because if you can open your heart, Scorpio, and here in the Ace of Cups, open your heart and, oh my gosh, here we go, I'm off. Right. If you can open your heart, Scorpio, here, and allow the Three Swords, allow yourself to feel the Three Swords that led to this this sense of being an undeserving outsider. If you can allow this to shine in and allow the experience of, I'm sorry to say it, but of that pain, you have the backbone, all right? Here's this single sword here running along the spine. You have the backbone for this. But it's about opening your heart. You know, there's a sort of tearfulness about this in this particular reading. There are tears to be cried. I'm not going to call the reading that because nobody would click on it. But that's what I'm getting off this. And the outcome, I mean, this is lovely. This is having more than enough. And even if you didn't have as much as you've got, it would still feel like at least enough, if not more than enough. But in order to move into that space of emotional generosity and emotional confidence, as I say, you know, one has to encounter one's own Three of Swords. I mean, I know the Three of Swords isn't in the spread, but it is there right next to that stained glass window. The strength is there to do this, Scorpio, and all it really needs is for you to open your heart to yourself. This is opening your heart to yourself. Right, I could go on like reflecting themes off of this till Kingdom Come, but it's been over half an hour and I think the message is probably there. So I'm going to leave that there, Scorpio. Thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.